Hi, my name is Doug Corsi, and I'm in internal medicine at Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson, and I'm here with Dr. Rachita Navara, an electrophysiologist and head of EP at Seton, a researcher at UC San Francisco. She also serves roles in the ACC on the Electrophysiology Council, as well as a delegate to the AMA, and the co-founder and CEO of SafeBeat RX. Dr. Navara, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to get into your journey to the many roles that you now are in charge of at this time. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, happy to. I've been interested in EP actually since a rotation in my third year of medical school. And I have so fortunate to have gotten to take care of many patients, of course, with atrial fibrillation. And from taking care of these patients, I noticed that there was a large unmet need in starting patients on antiarrhythmic drugs. So one big barrier to these patients getting the treatment that they need, which has been shown time and time again now to reduce mortality, is that they need to have access to a tertiary care center with inpatient EP services, be admitted for multiple days. And all of this hinges on manual measurement on a paper ECG using handheld calipers. And this is the type of process that I thought, having an engineering background myself, that surely we can use software to improve this process. And so this is an opportunity where we accept the status quo in many ways in medicine, I think, but being able to think, well, let me see if I can improve this process. And now we have a full software team of engineers, regulatory consultants, legal, IP, all concerning improving access to care for atrial fibrillation patients. And this centers on using machine learning to automate ECG analysis and even automate what dosing is appropriate for a patient based on, of course, their specific creatinine clearance, et cetera. But really the idea is we need to streamline workflows for us as busy clinicians and also improve access to, in many ways, underserved patient populations and get them the mortality reducing benefit care that they need.
Wow, that is quite a lot and extremely interesting. Thank you for sharing. So you were describing a lot of your work with SafeBeat RX there. Could you tell me more about the responsibilities of being the CEO and how you work to also gain funding for the company to make these advancements?
Great question. I think it is certainly a unique privilege that I have, being able to not only be active on the clinical side, but be able to raise millions of dollars through Silicon Valley venture capitalist firms, through the NIH. Now we have 3 grants totaling several million as well. And to be a principal investigator at my early career stage, I think is certainly a tremendous opportunity. I've had all of these in my plans for future goals in my career, but I thought maybe 10, 20, 30 years down the line. So being able to be at the forefront of advancing science and technology in my own specialty, and now running a team of 10, 15 people, along with a huge stellar research team, including yourself, Dr. Corsi, that really has been a tremendous privilege for me. And I hope to pave the way for other, especially female founders like myself. There's only 15% of CEOs and founders who are female, and a staggeringly low 6% of EPs are female. And so I think, I've certainly benefited from strong mentors I've had in my life, but there aren't a ton of examples of folks who look like me who have gone through this particular type of career path. And so I hope to set an example for others who might be interested in that.
Well, yeah, congratulations on such early success. Do you have any advice for trainees, medical students who are looking to emulate some of the success that you've had in your career so far?
I really appreciate that. I think the biggest piece of advice that I have is to always challenge the status quo and not assume that just because a certain workflow or a certain standard has been in place in the case of antiarrhythmic drugs for 30 years, it doesn't mean that there isn't anything that can be done to improve it. And I think we can take lessons from Silicon Valley, from other spheres of technology, and see that there are certain areas where we progress very rapidly. For instance, in the EP lab, we're looking at ablation maps that have millions of points, and we're able to track with such fine precision the source of an arrhythmia. But then walking out of the EP lab and going down the hall and picking up a paper ECG, surely we can improve that as well. And so I think just being always open-minded to areas of improvement that you encounter in your own clinical experience will serve the field tremendously, because we as clinicians are the most exposed to pain points that can then be addressed by technology.
Challenging the status quo. I really like that as advice for our young researchers and physicians out there. Thank you again for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish up here?
I just really appreciate this opportunity, and I'm excited for the next wave of trainees and physicians who are going to join us in the pursuit to improve patient care and also directly shape technology and the future of science and medicine.
Oh, a great message. Thank you. And thank you everybody for listening. For more videos like this, check out our channel at youtube.com/FITsOnTheGo.